What's going on, YouTube? So today we're gonna do something a bit different. In this video, I want to talk about something that I personally do that I think anyone who's in the creative realm should start. It's something that helps me slow down in this very fast digital age where I can pull out a camera and shoot 30 frames per second, or, helps me take a step back and build a composition, not just shoot pictures to shoot pictures. And I just fall back in love with the process of a photo, a frame, a composition, a story. And even if you don't know how to shoot with a camera, maybe you're a graphic designer or anything, I think it's great for anyone in the creative space. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's shooting on 35mm film. I don't know, something about this. From the moment I bought it, I just fell in love with the aesthetic, with the process and everything about it. And it just inspires me, which I think is super important as a filmmaker or creative. So I want to talk about that. So this video, I don't know, it's gonna be kind of unstructured, but maybe like 5 reasons or whatever feels why I shoot on this film and why you should too. So let's get into it. So let's start out with number 1, the aesthetic of shooting on film. And I'm not just talking about, ooh, look at me, I'm a cool hipster with a camera. I'm talking about the magnetic clicks of loading the film, or just the texture of changing the knobs, looking through the viewfinder. These old technologies in the aesthetic of shooting on it is inspiration from the start. For me, at least. I love pulling out my camera and just looking through the viewfinder, not even taking a photo, just seeing kind of what it looks like. And it's inspiring every time I do it. So without even taking a picture, I'm already inspired to go shoot something new. And I think that's really important. But it's not all about aesthetic. So let's get out there and actually shoot some photos, shall we? Since you last saw me, a little bit of an outfit change, and we're in a different location. We're down in a canyon somewhere next to a babbling brook, and I think this is a perfect place to talk about reason 2. Oh, my mic though. And that is stopping to smell the roses. There is something quite nice about the trails out in California, Southern California. There's this sweet smell that's always in the air. I love it. But we're not actually here to smell roses. We're talking about composition. Taking a step back and really making every frame count, right? When you have film, you have anywhere between 24 and 36 shots usually. You can't open the door until you're done. So you gotta make each photo count. You need to make sure that the shot is right. You don't have 30 frames or 24 frames or a terabyte of space. So it really forces you to pick and choose the right shot. But that process of picking and choose and having you slow down really makes you appreciate the shot more. Yesterday I was out at a beach and I wanted to take this really, to me it was a powerful photo. I didn't actually end up taking it because they moved, but it was this family with this kid looking out on the ocean, and I thought it was really special. Just the aesthetic of having a film camera made me take a step back and not just clip a shot. And it makes me appreciate it more. You wait more for a composition, waiting for a seagull to fly perfectly into frame so you can clip it instead of just taking shots. Obviously you still do that as a good photographer or a good cinematographer trying to make the perfect frame, but it just helps you build that skill up more, and I think you can take it into whatever medium of work that you do. So that's step 2, waiting for the perfect shot. So let's talk about texture really quick, because there's some people coming. With digital photos and cameras, like the R5C I'm using right now, you get kind of this clarity and this like cleanness, unless you like just bump the ISO, where like with film, like the film grain, you can't really replicate it. There is replicators, but they don't do the same thing that film does. Looking at this wall behind us, you can see there's smoothness from the grass, there's little roughness from the rocks, just texture pops here and there. And that comes up differently on film than it does with digital. There's a beauty to it that can only be replicated on film because there is imperfections, because it is an older medium. It is a imperfect medium. Ooh, some crow or something. But because of that, it gives it its own unique beauty that can't be replicated anywhere else except for with film. So that's another beautiful reason to get these really aesthetically pleasing photos. So kind of the fourth reason why I think it's just so fun to have a film camera is because you kind of have to wait and you kind of forget about what's on your film. Unless you're doing a photo project, you're not gonna probably shoot through all your 36 shots in one day or a week. So like inside here, I have like stuff from last November. So it's kind of a fun surprise and like a little bit of like, oh yeah, going down memory lane every time you get it developed. So that's just kind of like a fun little aspect, if you will, because with the fastness of a digital camera, you click, and then you just put it on a hard drive and you forget about it, or you like the ones you really like and you put it on a folder and you occasionally look at it. But when you have film and it's so much more of a process, it makes it so much more satisfying to look at those images. And every film folder that I have, just like so 35 millimeter or whatnot, I have a little more appreciation for it because of this whole process, you know, talking about taking a longer time to compose the shot and really choosing the shots that I want, forgetting about them and rewatching them or looking at them whenever I get the film developed. And it just gives you more of a appreciation. And that's kind of what everything I've been saying, you know, the underarching theme is appreciating the film that you make, or you take, I should say, unless you're developing it yourself. But right now, I'm gonna take a picture over there. Let me give you the view. A cool little shot right there. Like the little palm trees, the house, the road, a little bit of the city in the background. You get the hill. It's a nice little composition, I must say so myself. So, what is going on, YouTube? I dropped the ball, and the footage was whack. I'm gonna be honest. Here's a little shot of it on the camera. Now, I do recommend the Pentax K1000, and it's not just because I have it. Angelic, idyllic place to be. So, let's talk about the last reason. That is price. Because this K1000 cost me $50. And the reason why I think you should get a K1000 over any of the other ones is because when you're shooting something like 35 and it's more about the process than it is really about the image, because you'll get a good image out of this. Don't be afraid. But the simplicity of this is what I really was drawn to. You don't need a battery to take a picture. You can just have a battery in there just for the metering. And so it kind of makes this a perfect like running gun, throw in your bag kind of camera. And when you have $50 for the lens and a camera, about $14 to $18 for 36 shots, plus $10 to $20 depending on where you are in the country to develop it, it's a relatively cheap hobby that really brings a lot of joy to me. And I think if you get behind the aesthetic of it, get behind the ethos of it, anyone can enjoy it. And so I'm gonna end this video with some more of my frames. I hope you enjoyed it, and get yourself a 35mm camera.